All right. Thank you, everyone, for having me and for the invitation. We are Octopus Ventures. We are one of the largest and most active funds in Europe. Sorry. There you go. But we actually didn't start as a venture capital fund. We're actually part of Octopus Group. Sorry, too fast. Oops. Okay. We are part of Octopus Group, which started out as Octopus Investment, an asset management company. We actually have many more asset classes besides ventures, real estate, infrastructure, renewables, and one of those being Octopus Ventures.
And we always get this, so we like to preempt the question. So are linked with Octopus Energy. So Octopus Energy was a balance sheet investment from the Octopus Group about 15 years ago. About 5 years ago, that was spun out because obviously it's now the second largest energy provider in the UK. We're still under the same umbrella company. They do their own investments in renewable energy, and of course they run a software platform called Kraken. We're connected, but it's not exactly the same company.
Yeah, so we're not really a corporate venture arm.
So just quickly about us. We were founded in 2000. It's, across all of those bubbles that you've seen, it's about 600 of us, 20 investors, roughly, in the ventures team. We manage 9.6 billion. 1.6 of those are in VC. And actually, we're all owners of Octopus as well. So 60% of us own the group shares.
Brilliant. And we are also a B Corp. So a B Corporation, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's a certification for more enhanced ESG standards. And Octopus Group is one of the B Corps. And we actually rank quite well on their scale. We're actually not there with Patagonia yet, but quite high up.
And so now we'll focus on ventures because this is what Constanza and I do and what we're here for. But yeah, we're really on a mission to invest in the people, ideas, and industries that will change the world. This is our ethos, and we do this across the board. So from first check to pre-IPO. Yeah, exactly. So in the venture team, we're 60 plus people in total. As Luisa mentioned, 20, 30 investor professionals. Over the years in Octopus Ventures, we've been around a little bit over 15 years. We back more than 400 teams over those years. At this point in time, we have about 220 plus portfolio companies. And we're managing, as Luisa mentioned, 1.6 billion in AUM at the moment. And we're quite active as well. We made 40 plus investments last year. I don't really have the number for this year, but our pre-seed team is constantly investing, so I'm sure it will be quite similar. Yeah. So this is what we invest across. So we start at pre-seed. So the pre-seed team invests 100K. Really fast check or close to maybe the second round across the UK and Europe, and across all sectors. They have a slight bias towards B2B, but they have invested in direct to consumer as well. Then the core of the funds are in the sort of seed to Series A, early Series B. And there is across consumer, bio, deep tech, fintech, health, and B2B software, which is where Constanza sits. I sit in the growth side, so this is a new strategy for Octopus, which we only launched this year. It's Series B to pre-IPO, and it's focused on fintech, and we also invest across the UK and Europe.
Yeah, and I guess very briefly on my team, just so you know if you reach out to me. So I focus in B2B SaaS exclusively, Series A, Series B companies. Companies that are, growing fast, but that are also very capital efficiency. We like to invest when they are post product market fit, and I know a lot of people say that, but what we mean by that is that we like to see a product already been built, commercialized, the founders having a good understanding of their ideal customer profile and how to target that segment, and that roughly usually, translates into companies that have 1 million plus in annual recurring revenue. If you are approaching the 1 million, you're not there yet, but you're approaching that very, very fast, we would love to have a chat.
Sorry. Just quickly on what I do as well. So as I mentioned, we literally launched this strategy in May this year, and we are going to announce our first investment in the next month or so. We essentially start investing where Constanza's team stops. So to the country, so the guys in the series, sort of seed to Series A teams, have a slight UK bias where they need 1 or 2 people to be based in the UK customers, and of course we are a large UK corporate, so we really can help if you are based or you want to expand into the UK, but we're active across Europe. The growth strategy, similar to the First Check fund, is actually 50-50 UK-Europe. Again, of course, we can really help if the UK is of interest, but we invest across Europe. And actually, Octopus is going really doubling down on fintech across Europe, because as we all know, there is a big opportunity in fintech in Europe, and you can also build and get outsized return from local champions. We start 10 million ARR, roughly. But as Constanza said, do get in touch before. We love to build connections.
Yeah, exactly. And just a rehash on our investment things, but I mean, I guess the main message here is that we're really generalists. We are split on teams focusing on different sectors, but at the end of the day, I never really found a company that doesn't fit one of our teams, so just reach out to us and we can direct you to the right team. As mentioned, I spend most of my time in B2B SaaS. Now, it's called AI, because obviously everything is AI. And I also spend a bit more time on cybersecurity and data tools. We have deep tech teams, fintech, obviously, as Luisa mentioned, biotech, health tech, consumer, and climate. We see it across the board. We don't have a dedicated climate team, but we invest in climate alongside those other sectors.
And then on top of the investment team, sort of what you get and what we offer companies that work with us is a dedicated team of talent partners run by Laura Eaton that help with everything around hiring strategy. It's not only executive search, it's really thinking about the teams that you need to build as you scale, as you go into different geographies. And then we have, obviously, sector expertise and a stronger operational structure. So we have, venture partners that help and support on a project base, and capital to deploy.
Yeah, a couple of our funds are the largest ones that we have across Octopus Ventures. They're actually evergreen funds, so we don't really have to exit at a particular point in time. Which can be quite beneficial depending on how the history is growing. Sometimes you have pressures from different funds that if they invested in your company after 5-7 years, they start to get some pressure to exit. In our case, that doesn't happen for those funds, and therefore we can provide you capital alongside the way, as Luisa mentioned, from first check to pre-IPO now. And yes, I think the talent team that Luisa mentioned, I think is one of the best out there in the ecosystem. These are people that have been they have built team inside unicorns across Europe, and they really help our startups to actually not only recruit but also retain talent at scale. Right? We really think that startups are really just about people, and hiring the right people is really what you need to focus on as a founder. It makes total difference. You will make mistakes as you go along. You will hire people that were not the right fit for a number of reasons, but the more you can minimize that and the more that you can actually find the right people and retain them and make them and motivate them, I think is the key to success. I think that's it. Sorry, I think we have one more.
Yeah, we're just flashing out some of the investments that we've done. As you can see, they're really across different sector. We have B2B software, consumer, so Taster is a restaurant chain really, and legal tech. So Definely and Vitesse have raised round recently. Definely is an AI-based legal software that essentially helps with contract management with anything from drafting contracts to reviewing them. If you have any questions on any of those or anything else, you can ask away, or you can come and talk to us.
Thank you.
It will be a specific question, but we're a text-to-test generative AI-powered software testing automation suite provider. We are a C Corp in US, and we have an affiliate in Turkey. We are originally from Turkey, and we are working with Allianz, for instance. Our major focus is on banks and insurances. So, is it in your area? We are seeking for seed.
So as we mentioned,
from geography perspective,
if you have plans to set up base in the UK,
definitely.
Then and depending on sort of, because I think as Constanza mentioned, in your domain, it's around the 1 million ARR mark that we start to invest. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. But your prerequisite is $1 million or euro.
For my team.
For you, is for seed?
For seed, they are generally post. It depends on the sector. I mean, biotech and deep tech different, but for the rest, post revenue.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Hello, sorry, maybe I missed some information, but what's your criteria of choosing projects that you are investing in? So criteria how you choose these products, maybe you have some secret sauce, maybe.
It depends on the team, right? Because each team has their own investment criteria. So it's a bit hard for me to give you the answer. Obviously, if you are our deep tech, biotech fund, will look at different things versus our B2B SaaS team. From my perspective, I mentioned the basics sort of like criteria, but then beyond that, we also obviously are looking for founders that are building something different that is, substantially better versus whatever is out there, that you can really outcompete your competition, and that you have very good execution skills.
From our side, so on the sort of Series B to pre-IPO side, we're going to build a relatively concentrated portfolio, so we're really looking to back. So we invest across fintech, so direct to consumer B2B. We actually do vertical software when it's moving into fintech and adding payments. So we cover a broad spectrum of sectors that are related to fintech, but we're really looking to back the winners, the people that will consolidate the market, the companies that will become the leaders of their own European markets in the UK or across Europe and beyond in the US. So we're probably going to not invest in more than one player per vertical within fintech, and really try and back and sort of stand behind the guys that are, but of course they're already quite scaled, that we think will dominate or be one of the major players.
Thanks for your presentation. For deep tech to be identified as a seed, what are the income criteria? It's because for a SaaS traditional company, it's easier to identify, but for deep tech, it's kind of depending. So I'm just curious to have your feedback on the subject.
No, totally agree. It's not really our area of expertise, but if you want, we can chat after and we can get in touch and we can put you in touch with our deep tech team. They'll be able to tell you, as Constanza mentioned, they invest pre-revenue as well, so it's not so. As you say, it's harder, I think, to draw the line. They will probably look at how advanced your product is. They'll want to see which test you've done. They'll obviously look at the team very, very closely, perhaps who you're invested with, university partnerships.
And they will want to see, obviously, that it's a far superior tech versus whatever is out there, but also commercialization potential. But each of us in the sort of like 30 person team, we all have different sort of like areas that we like more than others. So yeah, depends on which one we can try to direct you to that person. I spend most of my time, as I said, on AI, but also cybersecurity, data tools, versus other colleagues that may be focusing on other verticals.
Anyone else? Last chance. Okay. Thank you both so much. Would you stick around for a few minutes more? Thank you.